Right, so today we're going to be talking about the BR changes for January 2024. Last time I made a video on this, Japan got completely screwed over. Well, this time, it's France who gets completely screwed over. But first, I'm covering arcade for ground and realistic for air, because that's what I play. Chaba going down in BR, deserved, it's not very good. This thing's got a pretty decent gun. This should not be going up in BR, this T28. The gun's completely terrible. I don't know why it's going to 1.7. I don't know why it's going up. The Stuarts are good. It's not surprising to see them go up. They've got a very fast firing gun. They've got the stabilizer, vertical stabilizer. Panzer IIc going down. Once again, it's got an autocannon. Fast firing, but the pens, it's okay. It's not the best. This going up. It's got a very fun little. It's very fast. That's what it has going for it. It's a very fast vehicle. This is a good gun and it's fast, so you get both best of both worlds. This, if I'm honest, I haven't played. PVKV4 going down, completely deserved. It's got good penetration, but every other characteristic about the vehicle is sacrificed. The turret, or the armor generally, is just pathetic. The maneuverability is not very good either. And the gun's post-penetration damage is terrible. So it's just not a surprise to see it go down, even though it has good penetration. Leopard 4070. Yeah, it's just a menace. Like, it's got a hull of like a 9.0. I know the gun's not as good, but you can still kill lots of light tanks with this, and mediums in the side. M41A3 going up. I don't know. The Bulldogs in arcade are not very good. They're not very good at all. Especially because this thing doesn't even get the APDS, which is the one thing it had going for it. Like if you were trying to face Panthers and Tigers, you don't even get that. So I don't know why it's going up. Facing 6.3s in this, no. These two going up. I mean, they have very, very high velocity autocannons, so I can see why they're going up. But at the same time, they need to fill in the BR gap for France between this and the AMX30 DCA, whatever it's called. T20 6.3, yes, really nice, well done Gaijin. So you've taken a tank which has terrible armor, both on the turret and the hull, terrible armor, especially the hull. You've got a gun from the M18, which is a, well, let's be honest, a 4.7 gun with 149 pen or something, and you're putting this against IS-3s. Yes, IS-3s. T32s. Have a great time. Honestly, to everyone who plays this tank, have fun. Have fun getting completely smashed in the face with a sledgehammer. Getting up to it. Oh, yeah, EBR 1954. I remember grinding this. I think it was it one of the Battle Pass vehicles or event? No, it was an event vehicle. It was during one of the events. This was introduced at like 4.0 or 4.3. Was it broken at that BR? It was pretty strong. It wasn't broken. It had zero protection. You could 50 cal it. It wasn't that strong. It was pretty strong, but 6.7 material? Really? It's jumped from like 2.7 BRs. Does it deserve to face IS-4s with a gun which you can find pretty much on the M4A4 SA50, which is like a 4.7 5.0 vehicle? Even the Sherman Firefly, which is 4.7, has better penetration than this gun. And this guy, this tank, this EBR, is expected to go up against the 7.7 behemoths. Stuff like the IS-4M, stuff like the T32E1, even though that's, I mean, it's got armor, so you still can't kill it. Stuff like, you know, the Conqueror, the M103s, you just die. You just die, you just can't do anything to them. Even the T-54 1947, you just die. You just can't do anything to it. This is, once again, this is the first of many changes we're going to be seeing where France gets completely screwed. Next, Type 99 7.3. It's fine. It's got a really powerful round. I know the armor's not the best, but it's a fun vehicle. I don't think it will like decrease in effectiveness by going up. Might affect the lineups around that BR, but I'd have to look. SHA 20. Oh, here we go. These changes right here. these 4 tanks, especially these 3, is egregious. It is absolutely insane to think that these tanks, Char 25T, AMX-50 TO-90, and Somowa SM can fight 9.0 USSR, T-62M1. You've got Object 279. These tanks, you want these to face them. Char 25T has 209mm of penetration, and it's going to 8.0. I don't care if it's got a really fast 4-second reload. I don't care if it's pretty mobile. It doesn't matter when you're facing Object 279s. Can you kill an Object 279 in the front using this round? No. Can you kill it in the side using this round? No, not really. The back, you can shoot the engine, but it's just going to kill you. Same with the T-62M1. It's just going to completely destroy you. Stuff like the Magak 6M, for example, from Israel, which has got M60 hull armor, you've got M111, you've got thermals, stabilizer, and that has to go up against a Char 25T. Well done, Gaijin. You know what's funny? There's a tank which is better than this Char 25T, which nobody's mentioned. It's better than this, at a lower BR. Well, it's going to be a lower BR. The Object 906. It has like 240 pen, pretty much the same reload, 4.0, 4.3 seconds. It's got arguably better mobility than the Char in most cases. It's got Heat FS, which means that if you're uptid, you can at least try to penetrate some of the tanks from the front. It's just a better tank. There is literally zero argument for this Char 25T going to 8.0, when the Object 906 is a lower BR, or it's going to be when this change goes through. Same with the AMX-50. The round's just not good enough, you just die. Somowa is very strong. I will say the Somowa is quite strong, but I still don't think it should go to 8.0. At least unlike the other two, it's got the 100mm with the 270 pen round. It's not a bad round, but it still can't do anything to 9.0s. You still die. So yeah, France just gets completely screwed over. Japan did last time, this time it's time for France. Who's it going to be next? Chieftain Mark III up to 9.7? Guess we'll find out in a few months. EBR 1963 going to 8.0. Honestly, no. I know it's got Heat FS. I know it's got a 90mm with Heat FS, and it still shouldn't go up to 8.0. These tanks have zero protection. There's no reason for them to be going up. All these tanks, these two, this Somowa has got armor, but these two have basically none, especially the Char. There's no reason for it to be 8.0. It's got the characteristics, if I'm honest, of a 7.0, 7.3 vehicle. There's no reason it should be anywhere near 8.0 in arcade. Even in realistic, where you can flank and go to side and shoot people who aren't looking, you're still going to be going up against 9.0s. And you're still going to get slaughtered. Next we have a few good changes. Strela, going up to 9.7, should be, in my opinion, 11.0. It's completely overpowered in arcade. It's arguably the best SPAA for a few reasons. The Type 81C, which is going up to 11.0, I mean, I understand this, but compared to the Strela, this has better missiles. Yes, the missiles are better, but it's got the chassis is just not good enough. The reason I say that is if people are taking stuff like the Kurnas, in arcade I'm talking about, the 8 planes with rockets, if you're in a Strela, you haven't got an open top vehicle, so you won't die from the splash damage. You can move out of the way very quickly because you've got tracks. This thing, you can shoot a missile at the 8 and you'll kill him, but his rocket salvo, you don't have time to escape because you're essentially like a truck. You just die. Even if he hits like 20 meters away, you still die from the splash. And you can't run away because you're in a truck. You have no acceleration compared to Strela. So in my opinion, Strela should be going to 11. If this is going to be 11.0, this should be as well. 9.7 is still way too low for the Strela. It dominates in arcade. Even at top tier. I've seen multiple people, taking the Strela to top tier and still racking up tons of kills against the planes there. In arcade, at least. In realistic, maybe this is fine. I don't know. I haven't played enough those BRs with Strela. AGS. This is a really good change because this vehicle's been dominating for the longest time, and which is why, if you look at the Gaijin market, this vehicle, which was not even that difficult to get, is selling for something like 90 Gaijin coin. Possibly even more. I haven't checked in the last few weeks. This tank is completely overpowered, especially if you're running it with bushes covering the breach, so you can't even shoot it. It's really hard to shoot at long range. So it's not a surprise to see this going up to 11.0. It should have gone there a long time ago. They are giving it M833. In my opinion, if they're putting it up to 11.0, which they should as well, I do think they should give it M900. Because it's going to struggle against, like, STRVs, 2A7s, you're just not going to do anything with this round. It's going to fit the 11.0 BR pretty well, but it should get M900 if it's going to this BR, if I'm honest. But yeah, I'm happy to see that it's going up and that it's going to get slaughtered, because that's good. Alright, time for aviation. Here we go. These planes, I'm just going to skip because I don't know enough about them. I will say the I-29 is extremely good, so it's not surprising to see it go up to 3.0. I've had a fantastic time in the I-29. You get an air spawn, you get a very good flight model, you get some very powerful cannons. It's good to see it going up. Well, not for me, but for the meta overall. Once again, more bombers and attackers. I know this thing has like 1050 cals, so it's probably why. Well, it's actually surprising to see it go down considering the firepower. I guess people are just not doing very well in it. Yak 9M going up. I'm not sure about this. I'm not too sure about this. It's going to face 4.7s. And doesn't sit well with me. Neither does this. This plane's flight performance is not very good. And for 3.7, you're at the same BR as the P-51C-10. I've just remembered, these two planes are going to be at the same BR as the P-51C-10. Which is arguably one of the best, if not the best, 3.7s in the entire game. It's a fantastic plane, that one. Surprising not to see it go up. ME-410s going down, yes, they're two big-engined attackers with good guns, but that's about it. Same with the Firebrand, it's just an attacker, which doesn't really do very much. D10 going down. If I'm honest, this isn't, like, terrible, but still, the D10's pretty powerful. D20's going down, absolutely, they're trash. The D20s, I would actually say that the C10 at 3.7 it feels nicer to fly. If I'm honest, the flight performance of the C10 feels nicer than the D20. It doesn't feel as heavy, it feels more responsive, the rudder actually works on that one. The D20's rudder's awful. I just don't like the D20s. I've played the Israeli one most recently when I was grinding the tree. I just don't like it. I would much rather play the Spitfire Mark 9. It's a much better plane. I'd much rather play the Yak 3 than this plane. I would much rather play the BF-109G2 than this plane. It's just not very good, and it's not surprising to see it go down in BR. D20 does not deserve to be 4.3. It's not good enough. Sure, you can go fast, that's it. All the other metrics are just not good. It doesn't turn very well, it doesn't roll very well, the rudder's awful. The guns are mediocre, 650 cals, I mean sure you get late war belts, but the C10 at 3.7 has 4 of them and you still get the belts, the late war belts, with the traces. Just play the C10, it's a much better plane than this. Or play the D5, which is questionable for it to go down in BR, because this is much better than the D20, this plane. J26 going down is also not surprising because it does not get the good belts, and it's basically a D20 flight model, almost. It's just not very good. I don't like it. B-26B going down. Yes, bombers, they're not very good. They just get slaughtered. Su-6, another attacker just going down. F4U4 going to 4.3 is an absolute joke. Why is this going to 4.3? This plane is fantastic flight performance. The Corsairs they are underrated as hell. They have some really, really good flight performance. Like I remember when the F4U4B got moved down in BR. And now it's just destroying in the hands of good players. Because all you have to do is you have to play the vertical fight, use your landing flaps, because this low speed thrust or power and the low speed turning with those flaps and the lift you will just stall out an energy trap basically everyone you see that isn't like a similar-ish plane to you. So this going to 4.3 is a joke. Should stay at 4.7. Even at 4.7 it's really strong. 4.3 is no way. You're telling me that this plane is at the same BR? I mean, the G2's at 4.3, but this is better than the G2, I would argue, in many ways. The F4U4 is a fantastic plane. It's silly to see it at this BR. It's going to face 3.3s now. Like, for example, what's at 3.3? Some of the P63s? Or the P39s at this BR? Whatever they're called. They're going to get slaughtered by this thing. Okay, next we have the G2M5 going up. I mean, I'm fine with the J2Ms going up. They're extremely powerful. They just slaughter everything. They've got fantastic engine power, fantastic climb rate, fantastic turning. There's literally very few disadvantages to them. They're also quite fast for Japanese planes. Not as fast as American ones or, you know, British ones. Well, except for the Griffins, obviously. Including the Griffins, I mean. But yeah, that's the only disadvantage to the J2M5, is that it's not as fast as some of its competition. But everything else, it just completely dominates. Climb rate, turning, roll rate. It's just really, really good. A6M5 Co being a higher BR than the J2M5 is actually quite funny. I bought this plane. I've played it quite a lot. The reason it's so fun is because you have idiots on American teams who just try to turn fight you. And I've also had Yak 3Us. I remember a few months ago I played this. I had 2 Yak 3Us trying to turn fight me in my A6M5 Co. They have every single advantage except for the turn fight. And they choose to turn fight. I saw that happening with a Corsair and a P47 as well. Like, why are you trying to turn fight a 0? I don't understand. And now, this plane, this A6M5 Co, because of these bad players who are trying to turn fight 0s, this is now going to face P51H. And now this plane is dead. Thank you, American teams at low BRs, for just completely ruining a plane that I bought. Thank you. So this is now going to get completely screwed over, because it has to fight P51Hs, it has to fight other 6.3s, which are just going to completely wipe the floor with it. In every single metric. And if a P51H still chooses to try and turn fight your 0, then what, it's going to go to 5.7? It's going to have to face Mark 22 Spitfires? Oh, I just don't like this. This has been going on for a few months now, where these planes that are slow but have amazing turning are just getting put up, up, up in BR. Makes no sense. Well, it does make sense if you look at the general meta, which is just everyone just goes into a furball, low down, and just turn fights until one of the teams wins. But it's just annoying. Because it doesn't reward skill, it just rewards holding S. Except this gets to suffer now, because of the fact that it can hold S and beat other planes. J2M2 going up, well, these bombers going down is good as well, whatever. J2M2 going up, once again, this plane has been destroying for the longest time. Once again, unlike the last BR changes, it went up to 4.7, and now it's going up to 5.0. Very good change. This plane's flight performance is absolutely criminally under BR'd, and has been for the longest time. Maybe it will settle at 5.0, 5.3. I think that would be good for the plane, and it would be good for the meta, because you won't have squads of this plane just completely dominating lower BR matches. PB4Ys going down. They're just not very good. I just don't like them at all. I played the one in the French tech tree, and it's not very good. It's really not very good. You have extremely underpowered engines. You're extremely large. You're really slow. I mean, sure, you got gunners and stuff, but you can... If planes at this BR, 5.3, they have amazing cannons, and they'll just shred you apart within seconds. Not a good plane. J6K1 going to 6.7. Once again, a complete joke. This plane is, I mean, it's not a bad plane, but 6.7? The same BR as a Mark 22 Spitfire. Really? The Mark 22 will completely wipe the floor with a J6K1. The P51H, which is 6.3, will completely wipe the floor with a J6K1. Why is it going to 6.7? You know what that means now? Like the Mark 22, you're going to get dragged up into early jet matches and you're going to do nothing, especially because you're in a Japanese plane which is even slower than props at the same BR. So you're just going to die. So congratulations, whoever has this really rare event vehicle, you're just going to die. Have fun. F9, F5 going down. This plane's trash, good to see it go down. It just gets wiped. Everyone just kills it basically. Everyone at this BR just destroys the F9F. It's good to see it go down. J29D, similar story. They're not as egregious, but it still should go down. Sagittario 9.3. Oh, have fun. So once again, like you had with the A6M5 Co, you've got a plane which has... I mean, the Sagittario is not that bad with flight performance in terms of like speed and everything, but you're now on the same BR as Supersonics. Stuff like the F104, the Lightning, MiG-19, MiG-21, F-13. And you're just too slow. You can turn well, but that's all you've got going for you. You have no countermeasures. So even at your same BR, you will probably die at the hands of a skilled player if they don't just hold S and try to turn fight you. If you get up to 10.3, you die. You just die. You have no countermeasures. You just die. You just face all aspect missiles. You face SU-25s of R60Ms. You face A-10s of A9Ls. You just get completely slaughtered. Have fun. F5E is going up. Not surprising, they've been dominating this BR bracket for the longest time. Though I will say, if you're pushing, all these BR changes, they're decompressing this BR and upwards. If they're decompressing this BR, yes, F5E should go up, sure. F5C should go up as well. That plane being 10.3 is criminal right now. If you're in a 9.3, okay, let's say you're in a Sagittario, even in the Sagittario, if you face an F5C, you're just gonna, you just die. It's just gonna wipe the floor with you. Any 9.3, if you face an F5C, you just die. If he's got more than 2 brain cells, you just die. F5C should be 10.7. If they're decompressing these BRs so that the F5C will not face stuff like Mirage 2000s, then yes, it should be 10.7. F5C 10.7. That's what they should do, but we'll see. JH7 going up to 11.7. It's good in ground RB, but for air, really? Is it really that good in air RB? 2 PLH, 2 PL5Cs, I mean, it's okay, but stuff like the Kernas 2000 just has a better armament, and it's going to be 11.3, so it will be a lower BR, so that's cool. Mirage 2000 CS5 going to 12.0. I mean, I can understand this, just because they're decompressing everything, and this plane is very good. Magic 2s, Super 530Ds, very good missiles. Does really well, flight performance is fantastic, it's extremely fast. It's a very, very good plane. Limiting factor is you only get 4 missiles and 2 of each kind, but it's still really good. This plane going to 12.0, no. Why? It has 6 PL8s, and that's all it has. Once again, the Kernas 2000 has the same armament. I know it hasn't got a helmet-mounted sight, but does that really warrant a BR increase of 0.7? Just having a HMD? I don't think it does. Also, the Kernas has way more countermeasures than the J8F does. The Kernas 2000 is arguably a better plane in many ways. So why this thing is going to be 12.0 and the Kernas 2000 11.3? I don't know. Mirage 2000 5F going to 12.3. Yeah, I can understand it again. It's a really good plane. It's just a better version of the CS5. You get HMD, you get a better radar. This plane is a monstrous radar. The Mirage 2000 5F is one of the best radars in the entire game. It's extremely hard to notch. It's a really good radar. Has all of the modes you want. You've got TWS, you've got pulse Doppler, head-on, pulse Doppler, all that stuff. Everything you'd want. And then we get to these planes. Yep, it's good to see these going up. AIM-9Ms, R73s, Magic 2s, 10 missiles, AIM-9Ms, Gripen. The Gripen, with the Gripen, you don't even have to introduce it. It just speaks for itself. It's been completely dominating top tier. If you play top tier and you see Gripens like UK and Sweden on the same team at top tier and you're facing them, you just lose because you're facing a team of Gripens. Have fun. This plane is one of the most no-skilled planes in the entire game. All you do is you turn periodic countermeasures on because you have like 740 flares and you just chill. And you have AIM-9Ms, Sky Flash with really good radar. You have basically a rat flight model. It's basically like, as I keep saying, it's like a high tier F5E, as I've said. Or as I've thought, I guess. I haven't said it out loud yet. But F5E and the Gripen are very similar in terms of playstyle. They're just rat planes. They're not the fastest, but they have extremely good turning. They're really small, very agile. They're really snappy with the controls. They're very similar, which is why they're both so powerful. Which is why they're both going up in BR. I mean, if I'm honest, the Gripen should probably be 13.0 if we're really pushing it, because it's just better than these planes. Objectively. Is it better than a MiG-29 SMT? Yes. It is objectively better. What you can't see here is the F-15s. The reason you can't see the F-15s is because the F-15s are mid. They don't deserve to be 12.7, because the radar on it is just not as good as an F-16, if I'm honest. It doesn't have the modes that the F-16 does. It doesn't have the flight performance that the F-16s do. It doesn't have the HMD that the F-16s do. It's just too old of a flight. It's just too old of a plane to be at this BR. because it lacks the modern features the others do. And also the wing just rips off the whole time, even without boosters. The amount of times I've ripped my wings in the F-15. It's like a kafir. You just press the elevator for more than a few seconds, wings just come straight off. Which is not really fun. But that's life. So yeah, the plane BR changes generally have been pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the plane BR changes. 11.3s are going to have a really good time now. It's going to be good. So plane BR changes, really good. Ground, not very good. France getting completely screwed over. These ones at the bottom are good. Strela, Type 81 AGS going up, that's good. But, yeah. France is just... Last time it was Japan, with all of the 9.0 Japanese vehicles just getting completely screwed over. And now it's time for France to get screwed over by the 9.0s. I wonder which nation it's going to be next. I promise you it's not going to be a major nation. Maybe it will be... it will be Britain, Italy... Oh, one of those. Probably Britain or Italy, because they already get screwed over. So, yeah. Have a good day, and I'll catch you next time.